Aye.
The Honourable Shane Jones.
Sir, thank you for the opportunity. This is a 5-minute call. It will be followed up by the Green Party, our comrades in arms. So we actually are supporting this particular bill, and so unlike the previous speaker, my contribution will echo something sensible and penetrating as came from Mr Mallard. So naturally we're aware of how important the application of a rational tax regime is, enabling us, sir, to ensure we gain access to international funds, but at all times, sir, never lose sight of the fact that one of the maladies confronting our economy, sir, is the absence of domestic or indigenous savings. And so every step we take in this direction, unfortunately, proves to be a step away from what the government's, the orthodoxy that the government is following. Now, sir, on many of these large taxation changes or minor taxation changes, we look for what's the best in terms of NZ Inc. And, sir, this is a set of refinements, and indeed some of them follow the work that Michael Cullen did, sir, in terms of changes to the international tax regime and a deemed rate of return. So there's some tidying up that's happened there, sir. But we will always raise questions as to whether or not we're simplifying a process for those that actually are inhibiting the development of a domestic funds industry. And of course, sir, we're seeing the worsening of this situation once this foul policy to do with sort of privatising, sir, our state assets goes ahead, and we're unfortunately going to see a drift of opportunity overseas, etc., not the least of which we've seen through the sale of our land, etc. Sir, and dare I say it, yesterday a number of us have been participating, as of yesterday, with a host of other stakeholders as to what's the future of the dairy industry. And I fear, sir, under the parlous leadership of the current Minister of Agriculture, otherwise known as Te Minita o Te Ahu Matua, the new Primary Industry Committee, it's evident, sir, that whilst it's not directly related to the taxation that we're dealing with here, there is a connection, because every opportunity that we produce, sir, for investment, opportunities to be scooped by overseas people to the detriment of New Zealand industry or New Zealand funds participants, sir, is something that should be raised in this House as a matter of key economic public policy. And it's unfortunate that this bill, along with a host of other measures, has never really, sir, represented a coherent response as to how, in the 3 years since the last election, in particular since John Key and his soon-to-be departed to Hawaii Nui, Hawaii Ro, Hawaii Pāma Mau for redundant politicians, John Banks, sir, you will find then that a great opportunity has been squandered. Now, sir, we wanted to see a bill of this nature, included possibly in this bill, further incentives for deepening our reserves of domestic savings through an improved KiwiSaver scheme. So we wanted to see something ambitious to do with superannuation policy, because that in itself is related to tax. But no, sir, we've seen this ongoing tinkering. So we hope actually, sir, to engage in the debate, because unfortunately, sir, as this policy is implemented, the policy pertaining to the privatisation of our key utilities and our key assets, an impact that they may say, sir, on that side of the House is unintended, but an impact is going to be worsening, sir, the level of ownership which will come to pass in hands who may not be, sir, directed towards the best interests of New Zealand. And in that case, sir, we will certainly be borrowing more and more money and will be reliant more and more on overseas funds. Now, sir, that's not to say that we are islands to ourselves and we shouldn't draw from international capital. But, sir, over time, all economies and all successful regimes have to have a balance. And, sir, this government, sir, this particular Minister of Finance and his sort of inept helpers have worsened, sir, that level of balance. And it's disappointing that legislation of this nature, sir, has not seized the opportunity to move in the right direction.
Just my apology, that was a 4-minute bill. I don't know whether the member was going to go for a 5-minute call. I rang the bell at 4 minutes.
I'll gladly continue in the Ngāpuhi dialect.
I will.
Summons, sir, summons a missionary trained translator, sir. Although it's probably going to be, his translation services will be needed somewhere near Coatesville, somewhere near Epsom, sir. In fact, I think I know the word for Epsom, and it's ka mate, ka ora, ka mate, you die. Anyhow, sir, I'll come back and round up. I come up, sir, and round up that, yes, we do support this bill. support this bill, but the deeper issue, sir, which we will never support, which is an erosion and undermining and an absence of policies to actually grow New Zealand's depth of savings, other than the fact, sir, that the current government believes by hocking things off, New Zealanders are going to be fantastically rich. By hocking things off, which are disproportionately going to disappear overseas, and all we're going to see, sir, is the new stakeholders wanting to expand revenue. That's higher costs. Higher costs in an area, sir, where the competition could definitely be improved.
I'm sorry now to interrupt the member. Dr Kennedy Graham, just to elaborate on the mistake I made, I'll ring the bell at 4 minutes, so you have a minute to go. Dr Kennedy Graham.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Just to pick up on from the sublime appellation of our colleague Shane Jones earlier, let me